Hi, Rachel Mead here, President and founder of Enhanced Prep. Thanks for joining me today while we take a look at this GRE quant question. In particular, this is a quant comp. And remember, with these, we have to decide, is quantity A bigger? Is quantity B bigger? Are they equal, or do we not have enough information to determine? Now, most students find quant comps on the GRE to be the most challenging quantitative type of question because it includes our algebra, our geometry, our statistics, all of these things, in addition to having the comparisons come into play. So with this question, it's coming back and it's relying on our geometry formulas. Now remember, you're not given any formulas for reference on this exam, so all of this information has to be memorized. So let's take a look at what it's giving us here. So the first thing I see is it's telling me that O is the center of my circle. So I've got my point up here that is my center, and then it's telling me my perimeter of NOP is 18. Now, it's not telling me this is a triangle, but I can tell that based upon the shape that it's given. Now, if O is my center, then that's telling me that this is a radius and this is a radius. So these two pieces are equal by definition. ON is going to be equal to OP because they're both radii of my circle. That means that I have an equilateral triangle, and in turn, the angles opposite the congruent sides are also congruent. Now, another thing I need to have memorized is that the sum of all three angles in my triangle are going to be equal to 180 degrees. So angle O plus angle N plus angle P is going to be equal to 180. Well, it already tells me that O is equal to 60. So that means N plus P is going to have to be equal to 120 when we do that math. And if they're equal, it means that they have the same measure. So that also tells me that both of these two angles are 60. So I thought I had an isosceles triangle, that the two sides were equal, but instead, because all three angles are equal, I have an equilateral triangle, which also tells me this opposite side of NP is going to be the same length as well. So now if I have three equal sides of my triangle, let's go ahead and let's use our S to represent those sides, is going to be 18. We know that the measure of each side is going to be equal to 6. So every single one of these is coming through here as 6. So now I'm ready to get into my actual question and compare the area of the circle. Oh, something else we have to have memorized. So our equation for area of a circle is pi r squared, where r is our radius. So in this case, we know r is equal to 6. So the area of my circle is coming through as pi times 6 squared. 6 squared is 36, so I get 36 pi. Now it's really tempting right here to choose answer choice C, but we'd be falling for a trap because 36 pi is not the same thing as 36. Remember that pi has a decimal equivalent of approximately 3.14. So we're coming through and we're multiplying that 36 times pi. Now, should we take the time to do that math? Absolutely not. It's just our job to determine which one is greater. And because I'm multiplying 36 by my pi constant of 3.14, we know quantity A is going to be bigger. But look at how much we had to have memorized with our geometry applications. The sum of all three angles in a triangle is always 180 degrees. We had to recognize that we had two radii and determine what was going on. Then we also had to have the area of our circle memorized as well too. Hopefully this helps refresh some of your geometry rules and you're able to conquer more questions like this on the GRE. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you soon.